It's Halloween time! And usually, for one to get in the Halloween spirit, you decorate your house with spooky, silly decorations. Or you watch a horror movie. You think about, picking out your costume for going out on Halloween night. Costuming is fun. Now, I didn't want to watch a really adult scary movie. Recently, there have been enough real horrors in my life that I just wasn't able to stomach it. But I still wanted to feel Halloween like, so I put on Scooby Doo. Oh, but I put on a special Scooby Doo that's been on my list for a while now. Scoobynatural. When Scooby Doo makes a huge crossover with the popular show Supernatural. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's cool that Supernatural was so popular that they got the honor of being crossed over with Scooby Doo. The honor. But it makes sense, yeah. I never watched Supernatural, but I always got the hint from the commercials that it was just Charmed, but for boys. I guess anyone can watch it, but the main characters were boys. And I was right. I find the Supernatural boys less charming, but I get it. I get why people just want to, get their silly scares on, get their silly supernatural hijinks on. It may not be my cup of tea, but I was still curious to know how they would enter the Scooby world and how they would affect it. How the Scooby Gang would affect them. And yeah, I was pretty satisfied. I was. I enjoyed it. I kind of want to watch it again. Not immediately, but I would like to watch it again. Oh, but it's a supernatural crossover first place. So you open up to the supernatural boys, and they're fighting what looks like a man in a dinosaur costume. And I think the joke is, oh yeah, villains in costumes. That's such a Scooby Doo thing. Haha. It's panning up to be the classic, oh yeah, somebody's trying to take this nice old man's property, factory. In this case, I think it's an antique shop. Guess it's in a good location. But yeah, you kind of just see it paint by numbers going on and such. And we learn that the character Sam, who in my head is still Dean, I was a Gilmore Girls fan for years, so he will always be Dean to me. But I respect that his name is Sam in this show, and his brother is Dean. Wow. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that in the last couple of years that these two shows have existed, everyone said that, but it's still fresh for me. Anyway, so the boys, they get a TV from the nice antique owner because, hey, they helped him with his little ghost problem. He's willing to accept it. Yeah, yeah, apparently it's much easier to just believe men when they say stuff, unlike the Charmed ladies that had to hide it, or even if they didn't, the cops around them would just sort of explain it away. Anyway, yeah, they make up a little man cave. I don't know if they have a house nearby or they just rented a space. These are not details I should worry about. Again, how do people in TV have money? You can't think that they're all Bruce Wayne and they're just millionaires that do crime fighting for fun. Anyway, I'm getting way too attached to this. So we go on to it. The boys are putting on the TV, and before we can even see a commercial, they are transformed into the Scooby-Doo world. And yeah, they do some slapstick ridiculous humor to prove that, they're in a cartoon. Kind of like that one episode of Lucifer. That was cute. This Dean character apparently is a huge Scooby-Doo nerd, so he's honored to be in the Scooby-Doo world, as I think someone should be. Yeah. His brother, total Agent Scully about it, does not care, just thinks it's weird. But I loved Dean, just being so enthusiastic and excited. The fact that he kept eyeing Daphne is a little icky. I mean, ugh, icky. But the part where he hates Fred, I get it. I mean, I personally don't. Fred is just so basic. I think of him as part of furniture or basic decoration. He doesn't offend me. He doesn't do anything for me, but he is just part of the gang. No. You love Shaggy and Scooby because they're funny. You love Velma because she's smart. You love Daphne because she has pretty hair. I like purple, so that's why I would wear her as a Halloween costume before I would wear Velma. I just don't like orange. So the boys decide to introduce themselves to the Scooby Gang, and the Scooby Gang, being friendly, family friendly cartoon characters, are totally fine with it. Yeah, don't question it at all. Gotta love that. And the fact that they're in a malt shop is cute. It's like, oh yeah, we're definitely based in that random, like, 60s, 70s time. No one talks about iPhones or anything, so it's easy. It fits into it. You're not worried about that stuff, but that is what I was wondering. Like, at what point are these boys going to, like, bring up some invention of theirs to, like, confuse the Scooby Gang? But no, they don't, because the whole time difference thing is not what's important. No, no. Apparently, this is supposed to be like a reboot episode of an older Scooby Doo one. Like, I'm talking about the original Scooby Doo, and it's like cell by cell little frames sort of thing, where they reuse the background as they run. Hanna-Barbera. Golden Age. Yeah, yeah, they do all that, and yeah, the nerdy brother thinks it's so much fun. He's like saying, oh, this is the part where so and so, blah, blah, blah. And he's just loving it, as I think you would be. Would I like a sleepover with Velma and Daphne? Sure, I would like to ask them, how do they finance this job? What was the scariest monster to them? What monster did they really think was real? Like, honestly. If they had to, like, put up a crime with everything they've learned, what would they do? These are things I would ask the Scooby Gang. I'd go to Velma and Daphne first, because Scooby and Shaggy don't care. I think Fred would just want to talk about traps, and I'm not into that. So yeah, I would ask the girls first. But no, the fun part of this little crossover is there is actual violence and blood. Yes, the first victim, who was supposed to, just disappear out of his bed after a yell in the night, is murdered. There's blood. And what's surprising to me is the Scooby Gang takes this well. You'd think, God, what is that red stuff? But no, they know what blood is. It doesn't faze them. I mean, it's upsetting. But then they're like, well, we've got a mystery on our hands. It's like, yeah, that's not the usual reaction one takes to finding a dead body. I would love it if there was an adult Scooby-Doo show. Velma, you failed us by not being funny and being too much of, like, just sour humor. When, yeah, I appreciate that Velma did get a little violent, but then it went just too wacky in the wrong direction. I read somewhere that they were going to make a Netflix show that was a little more like Riverdale, where, yeah, live action Scooby-Doo with, like, murder and such like that. I also would not mind that. Yeah. I'd be terrified to know what they do with Scooby. Is it all in Shaggy's head? Is it a result from him being high too much? Will the dog do things anyway? Like those 90 movies about dogs doing all those antics. Yeah, I think about this a lot. I think about Scooby-Doo a lot. It's just such a classic. Anyway, so the Supernatural boys, they know it's a ghost. This is how their plots usually work. Blood and guts and all that. Yush. And for some reason, their friend Castle, who, I don't know what Castle is. I'm guessing he's a magical creature because he talked about some kind of ogres and all that before he was zapped in. And apparently he's the snob of them. Yeah, because he called Shaggy a Philistine. I mean, he is, but still. Ay. But no, he actually ends up liking Scooby. And oh my god, I was so worried that they were just going to make fun of the Scooby Gang, but they actually do give them a lot of meat in this. For one, as soon as Shaggy is in danger, Scooby rushes out and risks his life to save him. Scooby would have died in that moment, but the fact that he jumped for Shaggy, I totally think is in character for him. And the fact that Castile or Castle, again, I do not know these characters very well. The fact that he saved them, I was assuming with whatever magical thing he had going on, but instead it was like cartoon hijinks. Yeah, that was still cute. I can still appreciate that. The part where the Sam character was responsible for making the animation really zone in on Daphne's ass, I did not appreciate. I can see this being a dream come true for other pervs, but shame on you, sir. Shame. Though the old gag of, him trying to talk to Daphne in the dark when there's nothing but like a black scene and little like white eyes, and then it turning on to Like, Sam talking to the monster was cute. It was very cute. I needed that. Like, that's how you play Scooby-Doo well. That's how you do a classic cartoon premise well. And then later Daphne's like, oh yes, Sam put his hand on the ghost's thigh. It's like, she's aware, she just doesn't care. Yeah, yeah. The whole time she's just perkily saying, no, I prefer Fred. Yeah, I don't know if she's being classy about it or she is just being a complete ditz about this. Anyway, more gruesome murder happens in the episode, and eventually the Scooby gang have to be told that this is a real monster. Velma, of course, is in complete denial of monsters being real. But no, the boys have enough proof by then to tell them. And what's actually my favorite part of the whole thing is the Scooby gang have a nervous breakdown where they're realizing that there are consequences to their lives. Hell, heaven. They are actually scared that they might die for the first time in, like, I don't know, ever. They are, like, really contemplating the concept that they can die. Oh, God. And the part where Shaggy is like, I told you guys, I have been telling you, me and Scooby have been telling you for years that we shouldn't be doing this stuff because we will get hurt. And to be fair to the gang, that they've never actually gotten hurt before. So yeah, but no, different place, different era, real danger. And that's when the Supernatural gang take over and use their know-hows to capture the ghost. And at one point, they show the Scooby gang actual weapons, and I did not see them actually play with the weapons. Did I want to see Scooby-Doo play with some brass knuckles? Yes. Shaggy, not so much, but did I want to see, like, Fred and the others just, like, take up some guns and learn how to shoot? I guess that would be dark on Scooby's premise, but I think that they would feel comfortable with that. It's very American of me, I know. If not the swords, because I'm sure they probably have some kind of, like, Japanese swords in there, nerds, then, I don't know, how about a taser? A taser would have been cool. Ugh. But no, they did one of Fred's little traps. In the part where Sam, again, very bitter that Daphne chooses the blonde Fred over him. He's like, yeah, Fred's traps never work. And they have a backup trap, and it's fine. And even though, yeah, the Supernatural boys, when their mission works out well, they still, like, look around the corner. It's like, we can't leave the Scooby-Doo gang like this. Part of me wishes that they had left the Scooby gang with this sort of terror, so maybe it could lead to them going on scarier adventures. That didn't happen. The special came out in 2018, it's 2025, and that still has not happened. There are enough adult Scooby fans that would watch a scary, like, Scooby version. Velma did not do it successfully. I still have some softness for that show for my own personal reasons, but it still can be done. I believe in it. I think it'll take a mature hand to handle it well, but yeah, I want to see the Scooby-Doo, I want to see Scooby-Doo gang not just play with violence, but actually, like, use their brains and have some stakes. The closest we got was that Mystery Incorporated version that came out years before, but I think we're getting closer. There's also the terror of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, where the monsters turn out to be real. Again, that was in the 90s. People have made steps. They tried. I wish they would go further. But it can still happen. I don't know when, but it can still happen. So yeah, I'm happy I watched this. It now really makes me mad that Charmed never got this kind of a crossover. I mean, they solve mysteries too. Usually it's the mysteries of monsters attacking their own house, but still, like, the Scooby Gang, I don't know, they could have met the Charm Sisters at any time. Heck, if they want to animate the whole thing, the Charm Sisters could come in, like that celebrity show where they meet Elvira. Yeah. And other stuff, they could still do it. Even though they wouldn't be celebrities, they'd be the characters in that universe. Still, Scooby-Doo is just such an American icon. I would feel almost any series would be honored to be part of it. I might be wrong in that, but I'd be curious to see any version. So, yeah. This was really special, and I want to see more. I want to see Scooby-Doo like take its next steps. I really hope that Velma has not slowed down the idea of making Scooby-Doo more mature. I mean, it might have, but I also think there were a lot of executives to blame for that, not just Mindy Kaling. So, even though Netflix has me waiting with no updates whatsoever, I am still hoping that I will get a mature Scooby Doo movie or series very soon. Or at least before, I'm the ghost haunting a house.